Almighty God created time. He created the seconds, the minutes, the hours, the days, the weeks, the months, and the years. In this video, Almighty God had placed it from within my heart to talk about the days, the weeks, the months, and the years. Almighty God worked 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested from all of his works. And in each one of those days there are a record of all of Almighty God's creations and foundations. Almighty God had placed it from within my heart to give to you His time frame, from where you will know where your spirit is at in time. In Genesis chapter 1, these are the weeks from which Almighty God worked. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 5 is the first day of the week. Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 through 8 is the second day of the week. Genesis chapter 1, verse 9 through 13 is the third day of the week. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 through 19 is the fourth day of the week. Genesis chapter 1, verse 20 through 23 is the fifth day of the week. Genesis chapter 1, verse 24 through 31 is the sixth day of the week. This is Almighty God work schedule. This is the schedule of His creations and foundations. In the work schedule of Almighty God, you can find out who created you and how you were created. In Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, you can find out why you were created and the foundation of your Creator and your creation. In John chapter 1, verse 1 through 17, you can find out who made you. And you can trace the root of your Maker in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, in the sixth day of the week. And in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, you can also find your Creator. In the first day of the week, you can find the Spirit of God, who is your connection to Almighty God and Jesus Christ. On the third day of the week, you can find out about this earth and when and where it appeared. You can find your root in the scriptures. There is a lot to learn about your creation that you do not know anything about, but other people know about you. They are playing political ball with our creation. So it's time for us to find out who we are as a person in order to prevent them from using us as their resource. This is 1 week of Almighty God's work. And on the seventh day, Almighty God rested from all His works, from which He had created and made. Almighty God worked 6 days, and on the seventh day He rested from all His works. And you can find the seventh day from which Almighty God had rested from all His works in Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 through 4. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 4, it tells us that Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 31, it is the first generation of all of Almighty God's creations from which He had created and made. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4, it talks about the first generation. This is a key word. It is an important word, so keep this in mind. Man was created on the sixth day of the week. Man was the last work from which Almighty God had created. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8 explains what consists of a day to Almighty God. In 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, it tells us, Beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Now, this is Almighty God's calendar. This is a 1-week calendar. The first creation of man is the first generation of man. And man was created on the 6th day of the week. This is Almighty God 1-week calendar, and countdown should begin when Almighty God created man on the 6th day of the week. In John chapter 2, verse 19, Jesus answered and said to them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will rise it up again. This is the activity in a 1-week calendar of Almighty God. According to Genesis chapter 4, this is the generation of man according to Almighty God's calendar. And if you put 3 zeros behind these numbers, you will find out that we are at the end of time. According to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, it states, But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. According to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, 1 day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. According to Genesis chapter 2, verse 4, the creation of man begins with Adam on the 6th day. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4 tells us that the first generation of man begins on the 6th day of the week. And 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8 tells us that Almighty God time frame is in this wise. 1 day to the Lord is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like 1 day. And so therefore, if you put 30 behind the 6, you get 6,000. So 6,000 was the first generation of man. It was when Almighty God created man in the year of 6,000 that morning. And the second generation of man is the year of 7,000. And the third generation of man is the year of 1,000. And the fourth generation of man is the year of 2,000. This is the time frame from where we are at now. These are the years of the creations of man. In Exodus chapter 20, it talks about when Almighty God going to visit this earth. Almighty God said He going to visit this earth when the third and fourth generation is upon this earth together. I am going to read Exodus chapter 20, verse 5 to you. Verse 5, Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord, thou God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Exodus 20, verse 6, And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. This is the generation and years of the creation of man. This is the foundation of Almighty God. This is how God count His generations, His years, His days, and His weeks. When Almighty God completes a day's work, then He seal it with the evening and the morning, and then He document the day that He worked on. The 7th day, Almighty God blessed that day. He sanctified it and made it holy, because that was the day He rested from all His works, and he named that day the Sabbath day. The seventh day is called the morning. There are no evenings in that day, because this is the day that Almighty God rested from all of his works. This is the Sabbath day that we are in, the year 2000, the day of the Lord, the day when he come and visit us. You can read about Almighty God's visitation in Exodus chapter 20, verse 5 through 6. You should learn about the Sabbath day, because the Sabbath day will affect our future.